Welcome to the Bird Gang Nation Sports Media Show, repping the greatest team of all time. Let's go! Bird Gang 31, he be the host with the most. We going deep, burning teams. They ain't nothing but toast. It's in your rest there. SIRRIANI put me in coach, running like Miles Sanders Hill. I butt my head on the post. Touchdown! Yeah, that's coming. Devontae's crazy route running. Jalen hurting them, throwing lasers. The Rager young gunning. Come on! On the D side, we ride, sack him with Fletcher, lay him out on the stretcher. No one can protect you. Watch Darius lay him, shutting down your routes. Come on! In my green John, eating Philly cheesesteaks. Put up your cups, wings up, if you can relate. Tailgating at the link like Gangsta Stride. To the Bird Gang Nation, that's worldwide. On Sundays, catch the pre and post game. Mondays is Birds on Broad Street with Philly Notion and Cool Cat the Man in Motion. And Wednesdays, the midweek special got you open with JC from Eagles Talk, hitting like B-Dog, baby.
Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. And today's nation, we are back again. It's rival week, Giants versus Eagles. I had to go get some of the best from the Giants side, and we got one of them here, and it is New York Giants rushing the building. How you doing today, my guy?
What's up, Bird Gang? Let's get after it, brother. I'm here.
Let's get it, man. How you give us your take? You know, first off, let everybody know where your platforms are, what you're doing over there, and whatnot like that.
The Rush Sports platform is nygiantsrush.com. That's the home base where all the content is. The YouTube channel is The Giants Guys, and of course, you can hit us up on Instagram, of course, at nygiants_rush, and of course, Twitter, which is basically me, which is nygiantsrush. And you can follow the whole team there. We're always about talking football, whether it's rival week or not. We're always ready to talk football.
Nice. I see my boy Titan Rossi in the building. What's up, my guy? He was like, hey, AJ made him fire the GM. Hey, man, you know, that was a bad move. You know, I was looking at the draft, and I see when you guys made that trade, Vrabel wasn't very happy about that situation. So, you know, it came full circle. You got to see it up close and personal, and you realize you made a mistake. But, hey, Everybody makes mistakes, you know. The Giants know about this too, right, guys? We got Mr. Bradbury, you know. Last year with you guys, everybody's like, Bradbury's washed. He's done. You know what I'm saying? Bradbury's the best cornerback in the league right now. You know, he's been up some pretty awesome numbers.
Got a big chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he got a huge chip on his shoulder, you know. Like, what? You guys don't want me? I was a Pro Bowler. And now he's with the Eagles and he's doing big things. Tell me, like, how did you feel about that? Did you think Bradbury could play at this kind of level, or did you think that, you know, he was washed like some of the other people?
No, see, I'm old school. Like, I know for a fact that Bradbury is he's a cover corner, right? You know, he plays a lot of zone. He plays it really well, and they knew that Wink coming in was going to go to a man. And most people just automatically gave up on him. They're like, he's done. He's got nothing. He can't play man. Like, he's a professional athlete. You know what I mean? Like giving up on a guy because he's been playing in the same scheme for a couple years does not mean he's washed. All he needs to get done is reacclimated with playing man. Is he going to be, let's say, a top corner at man? Maybe not. But overall, the guy is a pro athlete. He knows what it takes to be a Pro Bowl corner, and he's going to give you your best. They didn't even give him a chance. Like, they didn't even work him out. He didn't even come to camp. They were already moving him. The minute, you know, that Shane and DAYBOL got in the building, they were like, too much money, send him packing. And I think in the long run, as you can see, it's biting him in the ass because one, he's got a chip on his shoulder, and two, he was coming off a Pro Bowl year. He was healthy. He was ready to play. So for me personally, it was, one of the bigger mistakes the Giants have made in a while.
Yeah, man. I love it. I think he's definitely an upgrade over, who do we have, Nelson last year? You know what I'm saying? Like, he gets his targets. It's like weird because now you got two number ones. So it's like they're actually both getting their own fair share of targets, but doing a great job at it. I think they had him the number one tandem in the league right now with Slay and Bradbury. So,
I would agree.
That definitely helped out our situation there. So with your Giants this year, man, everybody thought they were going to be at the bottom of the basement, and they're not. They're right there in sixth place. I think it was. Was it sixth place?
Yeah, I mean the Giants. Like, first of all, let's just make sure.
Place,
Let's make sure we at least put this out there. The Giants have been bad for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So constantly changing offensive coordinators and coaches have done nothing but kill the fan base. Fan base is fighting amongst themselves. Everybody's angry. So at least now there's some structure. Right now, we've got stuff to root for. We got stuff to hope for, right? This team, even with the new regime, Bergang, we were looking at 5 wins. We were hoping for 5 wins.
That was your prediction at the beginning of the season?
That was the beginning of the year. It was ceiling was 6. The floor was 4.
Woo!
Because when you look at when a new coach comes in, right? You don't know if Saquon's going to bounce back. You don't know if Jones is going to bounce back. You don't know. There were so many unknowns. So, me and the Rush team, we were all pretty much in line with 6, 4 to 6 wins, and we were cool with that. So everything they're doing now is gravy. We know that they're not quite ready for prime time, but they're finding ways to win games. They're very limited on elite talent. Mm-hmm. So, Giants fans, like the true Giants fans, know that they're still a year away, from being a powerhouse in the NFC. But now they got building blocks, which before they didn't have anything. The Giants had no talent on this roster for years.
I see Saquon, though. And I always thought about this. The reason why you guys weren't as good is because Saquon kept being hurt. Without Saquon, without that lead back there doing his thing, that I just figured that your team, it didn't have enough talent on the outsides to really, do something. How do you feel about Galloway? You think he's a bust? How do you feel about that? 'Cause I talked to some Giants fans think that he was a bust, and they're kind of mad that they picked him up. What do you think?
Listen, $74 million. Where's the stat I had? Ready? I read this. So I do this thing on my podcast every Tuesday called 10 Things You Didn't Know About Your 22 Giants. Mm-hmm. And when I got to number 9, everybody was laughing because it says in 21 games, Kenny Golladay still doesn't have a touchdown.
Wow.
How do you have $74 million and don't have a touchdown?
Right.
He's either hurt, doesn't want to play. He is he's basically just grabbing. It's a money grab for him. Everybody thought it was a good pick. It turns out the cat doesn't want to play, and it was a colossal waste of money. It's one of the biggest busts that the Giants have ever had.
Yeah. Hey, and Steve, man, thanks for coming out. This is not a call-in, but I will be doing a call-in for you guys for sure pretty soon here. Probably by sometime this weekend for sure. So I definitely get one on there. You can join on one of those, so for sure. He said exactly. But what about Kadarius Toney? Did you like the Toney?
Loved it.
Why is that?
From a talent, the cat is just. His talent's off the charts. He is just like he is so fun to watch with the ball in his hands. But as a football fan, as a guy who's played high school and college football, I didn't find he loved football. Talent-wise, off the charts. Off the charts. When I was a kid, there was that wide receiver from the Chiefs called Andre Rison, if you remember Andre Rison.
Oh, yeah, I remember Rison.
He reminded me of that, like that human joystick type of player, right? But you know what? He didn't love football. And when you're in New York, you got to remember that New York's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're not focused on football, there's a lot of distractions. Music, entertainment, the girls, the money, the cars, the lifestyle. That'll take away, that'll take away from what you do real fast. And listen, guess what? They traded him to Kansas City, and guess what happened? He's already missed 2 games.
Yeah.
His body is not in NFL shape because he has been hurt basically for 2 straight years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he did make some plays over there too as well. I feel like they're trying to use him to be that replacement for Tyreek Hill in terms of his speed, his athleticism, his talents that he does have. Like I said, some of these players it takes a while for them to get used to the NFL. Their bodies get used to it. Like we said, Saquon came out rookie year, dominated, and then after that, you're sitting here like, okay, when are you gonna ever play again? For a while there, I thought you guys were even gonna get rid of him because he wasn't playing.
But remember though, Saquon's football, all football. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like Tony, to his credit, he's got a lot of different talents. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not taking that away from him. I've got nothing negative to say about the guy off the field. I got nothing negative to say about his rap career. I got nothing to say negative about the guy. But you know what? Man, you got to focus in on playing ball because it only lasts a short time. Your NFL career is very small. You got to focus on ball.
It's just, So the Eagles are 11-1. Give me your take of this Philadelphia Eagles team this year.
It's probably the best collective talent they've had, in 10 years. All these guys are hitting stride at the same time. I mean, my personal opinion, you might not like it, but I mean, like, Jalen Hurts is an amazing athlete. And he is really matured as a quarterback. But what did the guy need? He needed weapons, right? He needed someone to throw the ball to, and now you got, just like Joe Burrow does, you got world, or just like Tua does. When you get world-class athletes to throw the ball to, your game goes from here to here, and then some. And my take is that right now, collectively, you have no injuries. The team is completely healthy. You got one of the best lines in football. Your defense is nasty. You got 2 great cornerbacks, and you got a quarterback that can, is going to give you trouble because while I don't think he'll beat you with his arm, because he's got those 2 thoroughbreds that can run great routes and take the top off the defense, it allows Hurts to scramble. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's got like 8 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
So my feeling is they are definitely the class of the NFC. It's going to be on Hurts, because the offense and defense are all there. The talent's there. It's going to be, can Hurts, get it done when he needs to get it done.
Yeah, and I see what you guys are saying. Like, I see a lot of people still worried about this Hurts thing. For me, I think Hurts has answered every question you could probably have about him. Like, you got to look at all of our wins. We're 11-1 right now. Yep. And how many games was it off the legs of Hurts? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still yet to have a bad game. Even that loss to Washington, Hurts didn't have a bad game. The rest of the team kind of did. And it was like, for him to go this complete season, not having a bad game, showing you that he can drop dimes. I think that was the first time ever, back-to-back. For the Eagles, I know he's the first time back-to-back.
Yep.
You see players of the week. But one week was him rushing the ball, 158 yards rushing. And then the next week he threw for 380, the 10 incompletions. Like, I think he's answered the bell in the call, of showing that he can, he is an elite quarterback. To me, like, he's head and shoulders to me. Like, I know him and Patty Mahomes here says, him and Patty Mahomes are like the 2 front runners for MVP. And it's just like, how can you not, think that, it's true. We did get A.J. Brown that made our receiving core that much better and that much more dangerous. That was a huge piece. But if you looked at every single one from him, Patty Mahomes, he got his check. You know why? Because he had Kelsey and he had Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? Those were both the best at their positions at that time when they were there together. Like, he was the best receiver and he was the best tight end. So you need to have star power around your receiver. Same with Josh Allen with Diggs. You look at all these guys. All these top Joe Burrows with Jamar Chase. Like, if you get them these young quarterbacks, that elite receiver, because you see throws, like, I can even think of one of Jalen's games where it's like he was just throwing it up. The Tennessee game, I think it was. He was just throwing it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and AJ was coming down with it. But then you seen last week where he was just putting it right on a dime, like right there on the money. Like, he definitely upgraded his passing weaponry.
If you're an Eagles fan, you have to trust in Jalen Hurts. Like it's the time is here to trust in Jalen Hurts because his game is really well rounded. Now he's got He's got only 3 games over 300 yards, so he's not an elite passer. But he doesn't need to be because he's got the legs. You know what I mean? If you don't respect his running game, he'll take off on you, right?
But it's not even just him. Miles Sanders having a good season too. You know?
Yep. But Miles Sanders always has a good year.
With me, I'm like, this team, you shouldn't ever look for the consistent, like, don't look for Jalen to throw for 300 or 280 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like every game, because he doesn't have to. Like some of these stats, I think we're like, well, he's not doing it, but I'm like, he doesn't have to do it. Because our defense is dominating, and then our offensive line is the best in the league. So we have games where we just run the ball. I think we're more of a pick-your-poison type team.
That's the way. But here's the thing: that's the way realistic fans should look at the game. Like winning is what's important.
Yes.
Like you can be a stat guy and be like, well, my quarterback throws for 350 yards a game. But if you're still winning games and your quarterback throws for 280, it's still about winning games. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I get the fact that the Giants don't have the talent as the Eagles, but I'm sitting here at 7-4-1, and I'm not complaining. I don't have 1/3 the talent on the Giants than the Eagles have, but I'm still 2 games out, 3 games out from hitting a playoff run. Now, can they win in the playoffs? I doubt it. They don't have the horses. So right now, if Jalen throws for 280 and Sanders runs for 90, right, then who's complaining?
Right. So you're saying you don't think the Eagles are going to win in the playoffs?
No, the Giants.
The Giants. Daniel Jones, how are you feeling about him? I know we talked last year. Has that anything changed from last year?
He's
your quarterback.
You just said it about Jalen Hurts a minute ago. Okay, think about this for a second. I want this to sink in. Are you ready? His starting wide receivers are Richie James, Darius Slayton, and Hodgkins, which was a cut from the Bills. He has the absolute worst NFL receiving core that I've ever seen. So Jones has answered the bell with everything that he's been able to do with no talent around him. I mean, no talent. He has got nothing. And Daniel Bellinger, who was a really up-and-coming rookie tight end, broke his eye socket and missed the last 5 games. So Jones is carrying the team from a rushing standpoint, right? He's making the throws he needs to make. And that's all, he's collecting first downs, 4, 5, 6 first downs every single game. But he's never going to be able to shine unless they do what they did for Jalen Hurts. You need to get him some boys that can stretch the field and catch the rock.
They tried. It didn't work out, but they tried. Galladay, was coming off a Pro Bowl year when you guys picked him up, right?
Yeah. Again, I hear you, but he was still a possession receiver.
And Kadarius Toney, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had the talent.
Tony's the one that hurt the team the most because Galladay was nothing but a possession receiver. Tony was the guy that was going to be the next Tyreek Hill, take the top off the defense. No one was going to be able to catch him, and it didn't work out. But that's just one cat. Even the backups, like there's just no talent around Jones. You know what I mean? And now again, there's some talk out there about OBJ, but I don't think he's healthy.
Would you bring him back though?
If he's affordable,
you want him back as a fan, as a
fan, I want him.
Bring him back home.
If as a fan,
yeah,
as a fan. So it's an interesting question because as a fan, Giants want him back because they know what he can do. But the flip side is he hasn't played a full season in 3 years, and no one knows if he's healthy. On top of the fact, it kind of feels like a money grab that he's looking for one last payday.
I feel like this. He doesn't get hurt in that Super Bowl. He's Super Bowl MVP. The playoffs, huge stretch for OBJ. He was playing better than Cooper Kupp on that Rams team. You know what I'm saying? Like, OBJ found his way. It took him a couple games before they actually really start getting the ball. But after they start getting the ball, and yes, he hasn't really completed a season. Health is something. But for an end of the year, I'm even on board for rooting for the Eagles to do this. Because who cares if he's not playing until the playoffs? I don't care. We already got a team. You know what I'm saying? But that kind of stress you can put on your defense, come playoff time. Now you got a whole new weapon. Hopefully he comes in a couple of games before so you can get used to the playbook. You know, you can get his little package plays ready. You know,
Yep.
could you imagine having Smith, AJ, and OBJ in a slot? That would be ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
but
think
here's
every team should think of it that way. I hear a lot of teams like, well, he's not going to be ready to play right now for the playoff push. But I feel like we're on the other side where it's like, you know, if we beat you guys this week, we're already clinched. You know, we're in the playoffs for sure. You know,
I'll play devil's advocate with you, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's only one ball to go around. You don't want that guy rolling in there and taking anything away from Brown or Smith. You don't need it. You're not.
But
You're
they don't.
11-1.
But they wouldn't. I still think we still have enough passes. We passed our backs, our tight ends.
That's
You know
what I'm saying.
Like,
why would you
we
need?
got-
Why would you need OBJ?
Because the stress that it will put on a defense. It's bad enough you gotta stress out about AJ or Devontae. You're gonna double team AJ most likely. You know what I'm saying? And then Devontae kills people 1-on-1. Now you just throw an OBJ. Like defense aren't built that way. If you look at the Saints, you look at Tampa Bay. Those guys loaded up on talent. You know, and I'm not saying I would sign OBJ to a multi-year deal. No, but if we can get him in just for the playoffs alone, you don't have to give him. He's coming for a Super Bowl. That's what he'd be coming for.
Yeah.
Just like Sue, just like Joseph, just like the rest of these guys. They're coming for a Super Bowl right now this year. You know, so it'd be like one of the things
if OBJ is healthy and he's coming for the playoffs and the Super Bowl, which the Giants wouldn't have that kind of talent to make the run, but if he was coming for the playoffs, of course I'm taking OBJ. Because here's the thing, like to your point, I'll have to disagree with you on the Cooper Kupp thing because Cooper Kupp was getting doubled down in the beginning of the Super Bowl, which left OBJ open, which was fine. You know what I mean? Like listen, Cooper Kupp's going to eat sooner or later. You know, I mean, he was the best wide receiver of the year last year. I mean, he just ripped it up.
He was.
And
but that Super Bowl, I feel like it was OBJ because like you said, they had to double down on Coop and Coop. That left OBJ open. Now imagine,
so
not only you leaving OBJ open, you're leaving Devontae open.
So
like,
think about it. So for the Eagles, OBJ looks like a hero because you're doubling down on Brown, you're leaving OBJ open, right? But the Giants have no threats. So if they double down on OBJ, he's locked up.
Slayton's been playing good this year, right?
Who's that?
Slayton?
Oh, yeah. Slayton's had what we call a nice year. But on any team in the NFL, Slayton is a nice 2 and a great 3. He's number 1 for us.
Yeah.
You know, so
by default, though, Tony leaving and Galloway getting hurt again. So it's by default. I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. If OBJ came in healthy, remember, he's got 2 back-to-back ACLs. I mean, he's not RoboCop. If he could come back and he was healthy and it was for the playoff run, here's the pen. Sign me up. Let's go.
Sign him up. You ready for it?
Yep.
So what would you say is the identity of the Giant team? Or actually, before I even ask that question, let's go back. If none of your injuries to your big name players were hurt, do you still think you're a 7-win team right now, or do you think you guys probably have more wins on that board? If take those injuries.
That's a good question. I mean, losing, first of all, Adoree Jackson was having a Pro Bowl year at corner.
USC, I love Adoree. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I was upset when Adoree came in because I felt like they had to choose between Adoree and Bradbury, right? And I really liked Bradbury. I like his game. I like his mentality. I like his style. He's like an silent assassin kind of guy, right? And I felt like they chose Adoree over Bradbury. But the minute Adoree, wore a Giant uniform, he was a team player. He's I've heard great things about him in the locker room, and he was having such a great year. So losing Adoree Jackson is just like I'm like, that's big. And then you lose your rookie right tackle for 5 games with an MCL sprain, which is Evan Neal at the right tackle, right? First round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
Then you lose your 2nd round draft pick, which is Wan'Dale Robinson. He was just starting to, he was just starting to come on because, Sterling Shepard went down. Wan'Dale Robinson goes down. Like those guys were vital pieces of the pie to move the chains. I mean, you need to move the chains when you don't have a receiver to rip the top of the offense off of. So you need that underneath routes. You need those timing routes. You lose Shepard and Wan'Dale. Then guess what? The bye comes and your captain flips an ATV on vacation and breaks his hand, and Xavier McKinney goes out with a broken hand. Like dumb, right? So now you're asking yourself, to your point is, oh yeah, and Bellinger, the guy from Jacksonville, sticks his hand inside his helmet, breaks his eye socket. So Jackson, Bellinger, Neal, Wandale, and Xavier McKinney plus Leonard Williams missed 4 games. So yeah, I think there's definitely another 2 wins there. If you had the talent.
Break down that Washington game. Ty, how'd you feel about it? And let's talk about it a little bit.
There should be no ties in the NFL. The NFL should be the NFL should be embarrassed. No ties.
No ties.
Dumb.
How you guys feel? How you feel? You guys played that game? Do you think you guys play them next week again? Right?
Yeah. Tale of 2 halves. They came out, played good ball for a half, and then they just couldn't move the ball. Like, you know what I mean? Like they had 6 opportunities to close that game out. Slayton stops running on the bomb. It goes over his head. Slayton makes a great catch on the sideline, and then the stupid Feliciano comes down, flexing out, and gets a taunting penalty, takes him out of field goal range. Kafka, the offensive coordinator, gets a little too conservative, leaving the ball at a 56-yard kick. Just second half was wonky, man. It was a game where the Giants should have won. They had 6 different opportunities to close it out and couldn't. And again, it's a theme, Bird Gang. It's a theme. The Giants don't have the talent to close games out when they need to. Where teams like like the Bills or Kansas City or Philadelphia or Dallas, they could close games out because they have the right mix of talent. The Giants are winning on guys out kicking their coverage. It's like it's that really good looking girl hanging out with that busted up dude. It's because he's out kicked his coverage. That's the Giants. They're out kicking their coverage right now. Like they're getting a handful of plays at the right time to win games. But then when you're missing Jackson, Bellinger, Neal, Wandale, McKinney, Leonard Williams for 4 games, Holmes and Lemieux, there's not a lot you can do, with scrubs.
The Giants win this football game if they do what?
They do not. They make Jalen Hurts beat him with his arm. If they shut Jalen Hurts down, now again, the linebacker play from the New York Giants sucks. I mean, it's just bad. But for any reason on God's green earth that the Giants linebackers have a good game and they can shut Jalen down from running the way he does and force him to throw on second and third down, that there's an opportunity. Let's say that there's an opportunity. There's just more horses in the stable for the Eagles. But if they were, to your question, how the Giants beat the Eagles is shutting down the run like they did to him last year. They didn't let him run. They made him throw. He didn't have those 2 stud wide receivers, right? And he just looked like he couldn't pass. He was throwing dirt balls behind guys. He looked like McNabb of the old, throwing balls at your feet all the time.
Facts. Last year Giants game was horrible, the first one for sure. Like I was really highly pissed. And we still had a chance to win if it wasn't for someone that's not on our team anymore, Mr. Jalen Reagor. Thank you very much. He had 2 chances to win that game for us. That was really bad, But I feel like that's definitely a different Hurts right now. I think this guy's one of the most, strong-minded quarterbacks. Like we had a lot of good quarterbacks throughout the years, and right now his stats are way better than all of them. Even Carson Wentz, the year that Carson won MVP, Jalen's still doing better than that year. But that year, everybody was crowning Carson. Oh, he's MVP for sure. There's no question about it until he gets hurt. And then now he's not MVP anymore, obviously, because he gets hurt with 5 games left in the season. Jalen's doing – I feel like he's an answer to all the bells. And I think that he can do it either way. Like I said, I feel like this team, like I said, is a pick your poison team. I feel like we come out in the first quarter. We play a little bit of vanilla defense and offense. I mean, a little vanilla defense, and we play a little vanilla offense. We want to see what you're going to do to us. What is your plans for the game today? With the Giants, I imagine you guys try to get Saquon started early and started often. Get them rolling, because I feel like the only way you guys do win this game is if Saquon has a monster game.
I'm going to read a stat for you because you guys had a slugfest against the Redskins, Commanders, whatever we're calling them now. Yeah. Daniel Jones didn't have an incomplete pass to the fourth quarter. Daniel Jones led the team in rushing with 75 yards. Like the quarterback, like how you're talking about Jalen, like that's how I feel about Jones. Like, what else can the cat do? I mean, like he's leading the team in rushing. He doesn't have an incomplete pass until the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what else can this cat do? He's throwing to a cast off from the Bills and Richie James. Thank God Slayton's having a good year. So the only other side of this is like I think a lot of Giants fans are impressed with Jones has done. He's answered the bell with what he has been given. The only way you're talking about starting Saquon early, I think the Giants need to kind of surprise the Eagles a little bit and run more draw, run more screens, more rollouts to the tight end, because I think it's we need Bradbury and Slay out of the way. We need to clear them out, and we got to start working in the middle of the field a little bit because your D line's just gonna shut Saquon down, and when he gets shut down, he starts dancing. He stops hitting the hole hard. When he feels that he can get through the hole, he starts lowering his pad level. He starts hitting the hole harder.
Mm-hmm.
So out of the gate, your lines are both offense and defense are monsters. So
yeah,
if the Giants are going to have any momentum, it's going to be bubble screens, draws, rollouts, tight end to the tight end, something to kind of catch you in the second level in the mid part of the field, because otherwise up front and in the back you guys are dominant.
Let's talk about your defense though. Tell us who needs to have big games to stop this offense on defense.
Well,
I'm not very familiar. Like I said, I know the big cat. He's from USC. Of course, all my USC players I follow everywhere. No matter what team you own, I still follow you. I was when he was a free agent. I'm like, come in Philly, baby, come in Philly. And he went to the Giants. Like, no, wrong team, wrong damn team. But you guys got some guys over there. Kayvon Thibodeau's have a pretty decent season this year, and just let us know, let the Eagles fans know, who are the players we need to watch out for that really can make an impact in this game on defense.
So that's a great question. So this past week, the Giants had 5 sacks from 5 different players. Finally, Wink is starting to figure out, how to dial up these 5 individuals. But what makes it unique is that Azeez Ojulari, I don't know if you're familiar with Ojulari, Georgia boy, he's been hurt all year. He's only played in 1 game. Now, he broke the Giants' rookie sack record last year with 8. Okay, because Lawrence Taylor's first year in the league, they didn't count sacks. LT had 9.5 sacks his rookie year. Doesn't count because they didn't count sacks in 1981. Okay. So Ojulari has 8 sacks last year. You're excited. Hey, Ojulari and Tibbs, let's roll, right? Ojulari been hurt. This past week was the first full game Ojulari's played all year. And what happens? Tibbs gets a sack. Ojulari gets a sack. Dexter Lawrence gets a sack. So right now, it's kind of like a fresh season with Ojulari coming in. We've actually now have Leonard Williams, which you love, and Dexter Lawrence, which is having a Pro Bowl year. He's literally like a top 3 defensive tackles in the game right now. And he's got 6 sacks. He's just a monster in the middle. Now Tibbs is starting to figure it out. Ojulari's back. Defensive line is balling. They're balling. The defensive backs are holding their own with a bunch of practice squad guys. You're really hoping the biggest thing is Julian Love. With Xavier McKinney going down, Love's having a Pro Bowl year too. I think he's number 2 or number 3 in Pro Bowl voting for safeties right now. He leads the team in tackles with 96 tackles. And he's this, let me think, hang on. It's Dotson. I think it's Dotson. The only safety in the NFL that's got more tackles than Love is Houston's Jonathan Owens. That's it. So Love's having a great year. The corners are a weak spot, but the biggest weak spot is the linebackers. They're going to get exposed.
Martinez. You guys miss him, right, Blake? Or you got to let him go? What's up with that? That was weird. I was wondering, why did you guys?
So this is a crazy story. Think about what happens to Martinez. Guy's pretty much a borderline Pro Bowl player. went to Stanford, really cerebral, comes in, lights it up, 130 tackles for the Giants, and immediately takes the Giants from the 28th ranked team against the run to the 10th ranked team against the run in 1 year, right?
I
Because of
remember.
Blake Martinez. Then he gets hurt, right? He comes back, takes a major pay cut to stay with the team. But then this kind of gets weird. So Wink doesn't rely on the linebackers to be the captains of the defense and to call it. They take the dot away from them and they give it to Xavier McKinney. So now it's like, okay, I just took a pay cut. I'm coming off an injury. Now you take the dot away from me. And then what happens? They don't vote him captain. They take the C away from him off his shirt. So he walks in there and he says, hey, this ain't working. Can you release me?
Yeah, no captain, no plan.
Yep. So then he goes to, the Raiders, has 11 tackles, and then retires.
Dang.
Yep. So
he retired?
He retired 3 weeks ago after an 11 tackle day.
That's crazy.
Yep. So nobody really, there's something else going on there. I'm not really sure what it is. I mean, he really liked being in New York. I think he felt slighted, but I don't know, man. He literally went to the Raiders to play with Patrick Graham and literally had 11 tackles. I think it was against Jacksonville, and he literally retired the next day.
Wow. That's crazy.
So the linebackers are the weak spot for the Giants. Jalen Smith has been basically out of a job for 2 straight years, and the Giants pick him up off the scrap heap. Micah McFadden's a rookie out of Indiana, and Tay Crowder might be the worst linebacker I've seen play anywhere at any time in the last 10 years.
Wow. So you thinking this team, how'd you guys cap situation going? Like, why'd you guys pick up any guys in maybe like the off season or something? I mean, or during the season, like
they're fighting contracts, Bird Gang. Like between next year you got to figure out if you're paying Jones and paying Barkley. Leonard Williams has a monster contract. You got a ton of guys still on the books. Galladay just basically ate up all your cash. So cap wise, this year was really tough. So they didn't bring any big names in. You're kind of hoping next year Galladay's gone, free up some money, and then figure out what you're going to do with Jones and Barkley.
Yeah. What do you want to do with Jones and Barkley? Your gut feeling, what are they going to do? You think Daniel Jones is going to be the future? Or, they build around him? Because you look at what Washington did this year. They went out and used all that capital to get Carson Wentz, and he's a bust. We all knew that, I think. But they didn't understand that. And now you got Heineke playing. Again,
you like Heineke?
I like Heineke. I think he's fiery. He's a fiery guy. And like anytime you have those type of players, you can win some football games. It's really at the end of the day, it's about your team. Like you look at Super Bowl winning organizations, they do it when, the quarterback's still in their rookie contract. When you're not paying your quarterback that much money, that's the time you actually win championships, because now you have enough money to surround them with talent. You see a lot of these teams that don't surround, they have all this cap space and they're not surrounding their team with talent. You wonder, what are you guys doing with it? But if you want your quarterback to see, like, I feel like even when, Daniel Jones, I'm not the hugest Daniel Jones fan for sure. I used to call him Danny Food Stamps, just because I don't think he's that great. But one thing he does do good is he runs that ball well. You know what I'm saying? Like he does, you see him break off, say, like you said, 75 yards in a game. He understands when it's time to run. But like at the end of the day, he doesn't have the talent, like you said, too, as well. If you gave Daniel Jones, say
Devontae Smith or Brown.
Yeah, Devontae Smith or Brown, saying someone that, I think you guys were going to go for Devontae. We didn't get him too as well. Like we get him like one of those type players or like elite receiver, but I feel like it's like we're at the league, we're at the point of the league, you need to have more than one, like everybody you got to have 2 number ones on your roster. If you're going to win a Super Bowl, not that you can't win football games, but if you're going to go win a Super Bowl, I feel like everything has to be stacked. If you start, you just look at the last couple of Super Bowls, those are stacked football teams. When we win the Super Bowl this year, if we win a Super Bowl, it's going to be because we're a stacked football team this year. It's not because, one position did this or one position did that. It's about a collective team effort, and then coaching too as well. Like you gotta have great coaching to help you out. And I think Dable's done a great job with you guys this year.
Well, your original question was about like signing Jones and signing Barkley. So I mean, I have this conversation come up on the Giants Guys podcast every single week, and I start writing them down. I'm like I hate to say it, but sometimes the rationale of people on like who can you win a Super Bowl with, and the average fan right now, if I took a collective poll, Bergang, 25 quarterbacks in the league can't win you a Super Bowl. So what are you saying? Like, should they all just be backup quarterbacks? Right now, 25 guys should just stop starting. Like,
Wow.
you have to realize that, look, there's these elite guys like Rodgers, Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Allen, maybe Stafford, and then now Hurts has jumped in there because of the season he's having, right? Oh, and Lamar, right?
And Tua's balling out now. He got an elite receiver.
But Tua's only done it 1 year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so then you got this middle group with Dak and Murray and Brady and Tannehill, Carr, is Russ a bust? Like, is Russ going to ever do it again?
Oh, my God. I knew that was going to be a disaster. When he did it, I was like, you're such an idiot.
Yep.
That was the wrong team to go to. Russell Wilson needs talent around him as well.
Yep. Then you got that second other tier of Darnold, Trubisky, Pickett, Heineke, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Garoppolo, Baker, Winston, Bridgewater. Like, you're not winning Super Bowls with those cats at all. So I'm thinking, like, okay, like, who am I going to go that's going to do better than what Daniel Jones? Like, think about it. If you took all those quarterbacks and put them on the Giants, that they'd win 1 game or 2 games, right? They put Glennon in there. They put Fromm in there. Like Daniel Jones is doing everything possible with no talent. I mean, that's the thing that people keep dismissing. The guy has won 7 games with no talent. It's literally, I think one of your fans popped in and said the Giants only have Saquon Barkley. That's it. Yeah. They are winning. They won 7 games with Saquon Barkley. So what does that say? Like, if you gave him 2 studs, 2 stallions, right? Would he throw for 5,000 yards? No. But could he throw 30 touchdowns and 4,000 yards? Probably. And like Hurts and like Lamar, he'll also rush for 500-600 yards because he's 3rd in the NFL right now in rush.
Okay.
For QBs.
That's nice. That's good company.
So do I love Daniel Jones? No. But I also know that if I go draft a quarterback, I got 3 years to wait till that cat's any good. And there's no bridge quarterback that's going to win me. Like, I like Bridgewater and I like Dalton, but I don't think they're gonna bring you to a Super Bowl. Now, here is the key. Like you, I got a very young offensive line. I don't want to waste Andrew Thomas, which is if not the best, the second best tackle in the game, and the rookie Evan Neal. You know what I mean? And Barkley. I don't want to waste these guys' careers waiting for another quarterback.
You don't think they're young enough to do it now? Because even like you look at last year, like no one expected us to go to the playoffs at all. 0%. That was not an expectation. We did do it. We got Marley walked when we got there. But it was because a lot of those, some of our Brooks went out. We had some good linemen go out, but we had a lot of young players playing. Now they got that experience, and now they came into this year where it's like, okay, none of those players matter. Like if we lost, we see it. We seen Sam Marlowe go out of the game. We see even last year when Lane went out. Like these guys, they took that experience and they moved it to the next season to the point where now these young guys are going to be veterans. More closer to veterans the next year. You got a lot of the young talent on there. So with the line, do you think that you just need the time to adapt, adjust to the NFL game? And then, they might not be a weakness as far as.
I mean, I love the Giants line. I mean, they're a center away from having one of the better lines in the league. I mean, look at Saquon. He's already got almost 1,100 yards rushing. I mean, he couldn't get out of his own way the last 2 years. He was injured, right? Why do you think he got injured? Because he's taking all these shots because of how bad the line is, right? So, yes, I do know that he twisted his ankle by stepping on a guy and he tore his ACL. But overall, the amount of hits the body's taken on a crappy line, the guy's still fresh, and he's already at almost the 1,100 mark. I am very comfortable with Daniel Jones if you
Look
put
at
the
him.
guy. Look, how about this?
Fourth in rushing.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's a monster season.
And by the way, check this out. Because I always come prepared when you call me. I always get to come on the show. I always come prepared. And I'm always looking at this. The last 3 weeks, 22 yards, 34 yards, and 63 yards rushing. His worst 3 games since before the ACL. So either one, he's hit himself a milestone in his contract at 1,000 yards, and he's dialing it back because right now the guy would have put that graphic you had on back up.
Let's do it. There you go. There you go.
Okay, so he's 23 yards behind Henry, right?
Yep.
He just collectively in 3 games, 22, 30, 39, and 63. If he was averaging 80 yards a game, 90 yards, popping 100 there, he'd easily be at Jacobs with another 300 yards rushing. He'd be leading the league. He'd be leading the league or being number 2 in rushing. But all of a sudden, my man's taking his foot off the gas. So I gotta ask myself, is he hit a milestone in his contract and now he's taking his foot off the gas, or is it just, he had a couple bad weeks?
Injury aside, right now, no bias. If you can restart your football team and pick one of these 2 backs, which one is it?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Both teammates, Penn State alum. You know what I'm saying? They played together.
Yep.
Obviously Saquon had a better college career. I'm not sure which one you want to go with.
I think I like Barkley for his out of the back for receiving. I like Barkley as a receiver better.
Barkley as a receiver better?
Yeah, I like side by side, they look like comparable backs with comparable I like them both. I mean, like Saquon's a home run hitter, right?
Facts.
Miles, he'll grind you to death if he has to, and then break it, and then grind you to death, and then break one. Saquon's more of a home run hitter, but I do like Barkley out of the backfield a little bit better. I mean, his rookie year out of the backfield, I don't know if you know this, but he had 900 yards receiving his rookie year.
Yeah.
So I only give Barkley the edge in the receiving game. Running, close.
If you take the injury side away, I would probably have to go Barkley too. Barkley's a beast. Like I said, like if he's never got hurt none of these last couple of years, like where would you be ranking him? Like, he'd probably be up there with the likes of a Chubb or one of these guys, that you're talking heavy about. But Miles, I feel like he hasn't even reached his potential yet. Our offense over the last couple of years haven't really gave Miles the carries he needed to be an elite running back in the NFL. He doesn't give the touches that he needs to be elite running back. This year is actually a good year where it's like, he's not really, even that game that he had a big game and he didn't get that many carries. I think he only got like 15 carries that game. He's not a back that needs to be ground and pound. I feel like Saquon's more your 20 to 30 carry back. If you got him on your roster, you can do it. But Miles is more like I say, he's another home run. I think he was only running back with 3 80-yard touchdowns that year, a couple years back. And He's definitely another home run hitter. And he's got a little bit different style. But
I think Sanders is tougher.
Yeah.
He'll hit that. Sometimes Barkley's like, I'm gonna live to play another down, and he don't drop his pad level and make guys pay for it. Where I think Sanders seems a little bit more of a grinder between the tackles.
See, Eagles fans say that he danced too much.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then we're in the same boat because the Giants fans say the same thing about Barkley.
But I'm like, think of all the good running backs, what I'm saying? Like a lot of that are their type of body style, their type of running backs, what I'm saying? Like they got their own little styles. Like they're not Derrick Henry's, what I'm saying? They're more like I won't even say Jacob. Jacob's kind of like all of them Alabama running backs kind of are the same. You look at even now Washington got an Alabama running back, Najee Harris, with Pittsburgh. Those Alabama running backs are on a whole nother level, I think. Those guys are all good, but in terms of like the Brandon Cooks, the Kamara's, those type of guys, they can do both receive and run the football. Like, they're pretty good there. Both of them are pretty good. But Miles, I feel like that he's definitely you haven't seen his full potential yet. And it's like one of them things where like should the Eagles re-sign him? Of course, I love Miles Sanders. Will that help his career at the end of the day? That's the real question. Like, if he went to like a team that was more run heavy, he can put up way more stats probably on a team. I don't know because then you look at the offensive line we got. We do got our offensive line is not like most teams. Most teams either have a good passing, offensive line or a good rushing offensive line.
Yep.
And these guys that we got, they do both. They can do either one as you want. So it's like that is a plus for him as well. But the targets that we have on the outside with the Brown, Quez, Slim Reaper, then Dallas Goddard, he's coming back too as well. One of the best tight ends in the league. It's like with all those targets, that kind of really cuts into his rushing game.
I think you gotta. I'm a little bit old school. I think you gotta re-sign the guys that get you there. You can't keep churning a roster at key positions every 4 years to dump salary. Like, I'm not saying all of them, but your left tackle, your inside linebacker, your D tackle, your quarterback. Like some of these guys just got to get re-signed because guess what happens? You get on a treadmill to try to find the next replacement who's cheaper, and you just start losing because you just can't find the replacement. Look what we did. We got rid of Bradbury to go find the next replacement, and it didn't happen. They went out and signed Cordell. They drafted Cordell Flott from LSU. Everybody was saying, oh, he was just as good, as what's his name? Who's on the other side? Got drafted. Why am I drawing a blank? The stud LSU corner that got drafted this year.
What was his name?
Stingley. A lot of people saying, Flott had the same amount of talent as Stingley, but didn't get the press. Well, I hate to tell you, Cordell Flott is 175 pounds, and this is the NFL. You don't live long at 175 pounds as a corner. So, sometimes you just got to sign your own. I know it's against, if you're a young cat that's into fantasy football and you're interested in you're a big Madden dude, like everyone's like, get rid of him, get somebody new. Like I like keeping my chess pieces, man. Like, so a guy like Sanders, I'm like, why create another hole? Don't create another hole, and hoping the next guy is going to be great. Sometimes you got to shell out the money.
No, fact. I want to keep Sanders. I want to keep Hurts. I want to keep all these guys, especially if we do something special like I hope we do this year. I want to keep everybody. Bradbury, Johnson, Johnson. I can see some players leaving though, just because I feel like we have replacements in their wings. So, one of the linebackers go. I feel like Dean is ready to play. You see them have the most snaps he's had all season last game. He led the team in tackles. I think that was a smart way not to rush him in. He's actually
I was so fired up about when he was available and the Giants passed him up. I was like, no. I'm like, that cat can play, dude. What are we doing? I know he was injured, and he was kind of slow progress with some of those injuries, but when that guy's full steam, he can ball.
Yeah. And then you got if Cots go, we got Jordan Davis, you got Hargrave still, you just picked up Sue and, Joseph. You still got Milt Williams, Marlon, who got hurt, who was playing great this year, another USC guy, that was playing good and he got hurt. So it's like the defensive line's kind of still there. Even if Brandon Graham leaves, you kind of still got those defensive ends still in the wings ready to play and get more playing time. On the opposite side, if Kelsey leaves, we drafted Jernigan, who comes in at guard and still plays at a pretty high level, as guard, in his rookie year. So it's like,
look, you got rid of what do you call it? Because of Goddard, Ertz. Ertz was a Pro Bowl tight end, and you guys, and I was like, oh, that can't be a wise move. And then Goddard just stepped right in and took over like it was nothing. So some smart moves and some things falling into place for your Eagles, no doubt.
So how do you feel about, first before I get to this, then we wrap up this game. How do you feel about your team moving forward? Break down your how many games? We got 5 games left. Like, what are those opponents, and what do you think you're going to go throughout these next in the season? Like, do you think you're going to be able to keep this, number 6 spot right now? I think you guys are number 6, like I said. number 6, or you think you can move up, move down? How do you see this working? You think Dallas takes over that spot?
I think
I mean,
the
not Dallas. You got to take over the Dallas spot.
this is my my overall prediction sitting here right now. Like when I kind of like think about the injuries the Giants have, they're getting a little bit healthier. Bellinger came back, Neal came back. There's some talk, Xavier McKinney's supposed to come back next week from the broken hand. Here's my thought: the Giants are going to beat Washington, in Washington. They now know what they need to do. They should have won this past weekend. They know what they need to do. They're going to beat the Colts. They're going to beat Minnesota. And, even if they lose to the Eagles twice, you're still looking at 10 wins. You're going to get 2 wild cards out of the NFC East.
Yeah. You think the Washington Commanders can pull it together and get the 4th? Would you want that as a fan? Because for me, I think it'd be awesome, to not only win the division, go to the playoffs, but like all 4 of our teams go. So you didn't just win it on a normal year of the NFC East, where we're the NFC worst, the NFC least. Like you won in a year where we all, as a whole, the whole division stepped up this year, and be the first time ever, all 4 teams. And
I
can't even in the playoffs, but the first time ever, all 4 teams are in the playoffs together.
I can't see it. It'd be crazy if it happened, but I can't see it. Like the whole Commanders thing, like, I don't know. They're missing some stuff. Like there's something there that they're just missing, they've got some good, like you said, like Heineke's got some fire to him. They do have some, their defense can get after it. But look, the Giants had 6 opportunities to beat them. 6. They lit 6 different opportunities. Just like they blew it. They lost the game themselves, right? Like that.
They feel that way too, because that's how I feel about when we lost to them. Was we beat ourselves.
That game was nuts, because like you had all sorts of crazy calls, face masks that weren't called. You had all sorts of things in that game. Was like the ref crew was, I don't know, they were on vacation. And listen, don't get me wrong, I am not rooting for your boys, but I mean that game was just crazy. Penalty for hitting the QB late. Then you get the face mask the guy misses at the end of the game. That was insane. That game was insane.
It was horrible. That was my first home game too ever, and we had to watch that L. Had to take that L. Lucky it was a great tailgate and I had the most fun I've ever had in my life that day. But
very cool.
The W would have been even better to put the cherry on top, but we didn't.
Yeah, so I think the Giants can beat Washington. Like I said, between Feliciano with his dumbass, taunting penalty. Slayton stops the run, doesn't catch the ball over his head. The punter's bombing 60-yard kicks and then shanks one in overtime. Like just your kicker who has not missed a kick over 50 yards in 2 years, misses the kick. Like everything went wrong. The Giants are going to beat Washington. They're going to beat Minnesota. They're going to beat the Colts. And the question is, like you said, does Washington hold on for a 4th wild card? But you're going to get 3. You're going to get Eagles, Dallas, and Giants, out of there, which should make it fun. And listen, hey, I'm totally realistic. I told you, it's just good football for Giants fans because we have sucked for so long. It feels good whatever happens. Even if they got blown out in the wild card, I'd be satisfied.
That's how we were last year. Like, hey, it doesn't matter. We should have did better, yes, but we weren't even supposed to be there last year.
Exactly, man. We show up to the dance. I'm happy.
So, what's your score prediction this week?
Oh man, you gonna do that to me, man? I thought we were boys.
We are boys. I gotta hear it though. I want to know, how do you think this game's gonna? Well, actually, before you give me the score, give me 3. If you guys win, give me 3 bowl predictions. I like the bowl predictions.
All right. So the question is, if we win, the Giants win, what are the 3 bold statements attached to that win?
Yes.
Daniel Jones rushes for 100 yards.
Ooh.
Jalen Hurts throws 2 interceptions. One's a pick 6.
Ooh. Pressure.
Devontae Smith ACL.
Wow, really? Did you have to do that one? Out of all of them, that was the worst one you could have possibly said. That's
Come on, man.
That's messed up.
That dude.
Where's that? You did not have to put that in the air like that. That was messed up. Whoa. They ate it in the house. He said, Devontae had 3 fumbles or dropped every pass of the game. He was like, Devontae ATM, done. No more. Just done. I don't want to see him no more. It's a
I'm
wrap.
just saying, the guy needs a steak, man. He's like 100 pounds.
Wow. Yeah,
All right. I'll take you. All right. I'll take you back.
I wanted Waddle in the draft because I think Waddle's more explosive. He's a little bit bigger. But I do love the Slim Reaper.
All right, I'll take it back. And give you the. Nina says that's cold. All right, I'll take that back.
That was woo. Ice cold right there. That hit my soul right there when you said it. Like, what? Did you just say it out in the air? No.
I want to let you. I told this story real quick last year when you and I hung out together. Okay, I want everybody to know out there in Eagle Land. Okay, that I worked for CBS Radio WIP for 10 years. Okay, so I was friends with Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepherd, Quentin Michael, Westbrook. I mean, like all those cats. I know all those cats, right? So I don't have a hate for your team like maybe some people do, because like I was friendly with these guys, man. I worked for WIP. We used to do all sorts of stuff together. I could tell you all stories off the air. You'd be like surprised to hear, like, I got no hate for Eagles players. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take back that ACL comment because now I feel bad. I feel guilty because your listeners are making me feel bad. All right, so the third one would be all right, so Jones at 100 yards, 2 picks and 1 pick six for Hurts. I mean, geez, Saquon Barkley rushes for $125 and 2 touchdowns. Like, one receiving touchdown, one rushing touchdown. Because, again, he's the only star we got. So if he's not rocking, you don't really stand a whole lot of chance.
Yeah. That's how I kind of feel like with the Titans game. Like, you stop Big Henry and it's a wrap. That's how I feel about this game. We go in there, handle business, and stop. And just that defensive line alone, like, I don't know another defensive line that's like 6 deep, that starters. You know what I'm saying? Like Joseph, Sue, Cox, Hargrave, Jordan Davis is back. It's like Milton Williams played good second-year player.
Bird Gang, I want to tell you right now, if you think them old men, Linville, Joseph, and Sue are stopping Vanilla Vic, that ain't gonna happen. He's gonna run right by him. They're too old and too slow.
The best running back in the world. You can't tell me that any other running back is on the level of Henry, and we just stopped him at 27 yards.
Take Crowder, who shut Derrick Henry down. We beat the Titans too. We shut Derrick Henry down.
Let me tell you guys the secret. This would be the secret if you guys were to beat us. Your no-name players ball out. Because in terms of stars, even when you bring back up what we're looking at here, we already went against Henry, 27 yards against him. We shut down Cook. You know what I'm saying? Like the best backs, whenever you're a star player, like even in Minnesota with what's his name? Chase, or not Chase, the receiver. Jefferson. Any stars, that we know we're about to go against, we shut them down. We shut them down. It's those no-namers, like even in the Titans game, I think their third string tight end has scored a touchdown on us. Like it's those guys that you don't expect to really put up, that actually put the damage on us and that make us look kind of suspect. And it's kind of sad. But when it comes to stars, and that's why I feel like we shut Barkley down. My hot take would be like Barkley has 50 yards or less. Just like King Henry. That's the only way we really dominate this football game. So my hot takes would be Barkley has 50 yards or less. Daniel Jones has 2 fumbles and an interception.
Come on, what's up? Well, you give no slack on Vanilla Vic. What's up? Come on.
I told you, I call him Danny Food Stamps over here.
I know, man. Honestly, you gotta admit the cat's having a good year with no talent.
Yeah, he's doing good. Like you guys in general are doing good, and I am so happy for you. But like I said, Cashapp, we build different. Like we just build different. Our team is complete. There's no weakness. There's no real true. Like you can't go to our offense like, well, that's your weakness. You know, you can't go to our defense. Well, last
All
year,
right, time out. If you had no weaknesses, you would not have signed two 35-year-old defensive tackles if you had no weaknesses.
we signed it because Jordan Davis had got hurt.
That's a weakness.
But we still have Fletcher and Hargraves who's having great seasons. So it's not really a weakness. It's depth.
All right. I'm just saying because
those guys we added, like I said, is to put your team over the hump. Like I feel like we can lose a couple players here and there within this last 5 games of the season and still go on a nice playoff run without it. Even that year we won the Super Bowl, we had some starters out that year. And I think the team was just built right. Where it's just like we have so much talent that
unless Devontae Adams gets an ACL.
Listen, though, we're not talking about that. That was off the table. That was retracted. Thank you very much. You do not have that. That was retracted, and he didn't mean it, guys. Devontae's gonna be healthy throughout the rest of this season. Whew. How about if I say Daniel Jones has the ACL? You know, we go put body bag Daniel Jones. Hey, would you like that?
I didn't body bag your best player.
Yeah, I'm body bag. Devontae's good enough. You know, he's big enough of a player for our team. Like last
Hang on, let me look at 916 yards and 5 TDs. Brown 950 with 9 TDs. Miles Sanders 924 with 9 TDs. Devontae Smith, you can afford to get rid of him. He's fine.
No, we got to keep him. And it's going to be the first year. I told everybody, too, we're going to have our first year because we haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver in so long. I think this is the first year we get 2 of them. And if Goddard can get back in – how many yards Goddard has? If he can get back in time, I think he can do it, too.
I think the last time you had a 1,000-yard receiver was probably T.O.
Macklin.
Oh, yeah. Forgot of it. Good call.
Yeah. That's weird because I thought D-Jax had 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, but he's been gone a lot longer than you think.
He's been gone for a while, yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, through those years of D-Jax, us loving D-Jax, to me, D-Jax is one of my favorite Eagles receivers of all time.
Yeah, well, I can't go there, man. He broke my heart many times. So.
Yeah, he definitely broke you guys.
I like you, but I can't like him. Nope, can't do it.
All right, D. Jackson broke our heart when he left us. Every time he played us, he scorned us. He was like, "Hey guys, this is what you guys missed out on. Here I am." So, but yeah, man, score prediction. Where we going with it?
So am I going just straight up like you giving me the scenario if the Giants win, score, or just score?
You can do both. If the Giants win, and what you think in real life is going to happen.
Yeah, I got you. If the Giants win, it's a 24-21 score because for the Giants to win, something bad had to go with your offense. Like something had to go wrong. You know, I'm not wishing any ill will on anybody.
Yeah, you said enough with the whole ACL.
I'm making a point. I'm just saying for you guys to not, the Eagles generate offense, right? So for them to not to generate offense, something has to go wrong. Like Kelsey, you know what I mean? Like the center changes. Like something has to change. But straight up, I can see this being a 27-14 game. The Giants do struggle scoring points in the red zone, because they don't have a red zone threat. You know what I mean? Like Bellinger is back.
And he has let go Ingram too. What was you guys? I liked Ingram.
He sucked.
You think so?
No, I know so.
He just hurt. He just hurt.
No, he went to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram?
He was hurt. I'm saying for you guys a lot.
Oh yeah, he was never on the field. And when he was, he dropped everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, if it's a straight up game and Devontae doesn't blow an ACL and nothing bad happens, I'm going with 27-14 because again, Giants have trouble generating points. They can work a slugfest just like when you played the Commanders and the Giants played the Commanders. Both games were pretty much a slugfest. The only difference was you got kind of robbed with some calls at the end of the game and then some stupid plays by your defensive lineman hitting the quarterback and just mental errors from your squad. And then on the Giants side, from a physical standpoint, actually mental and physical, they blew that game themselves. My theory is that the Giants have some Bellinger, Neal, are back, which is going to help at least fight. But you've got a lot of weapons, man. I can see a 27-14 game. No, no problem.
If it's close, I know the points. What they say is the under is 44 and a 7-point spread. So if it's close, it'll be the Eagles 31, Giants 24.
Okay. You might be even. You might. That's a little generous, but I'm with you.
But if we got the same team from last week, these guys are still playing on a high level. We're going out there. We're putting our foot down. And I think it's more of a blowout where it'd be more like I think we need a 40 burger. So it'll be like a 42-17 game.
No way you're putting up that many points in MetLife Stadium. That ain't happening. Not happening.
You know what's so funny? I was in the stadium too, the last game of the Reed era, and you guys blew us out that game. And I hated it because I went way out. For one, out the first time I was in New York. It's like, dang, when I travel to see the Eagles, it just haven't worked out very well. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 games I traveled to see that didn't work out very well. But like that game, it was like the coldest game of my life, -14. And then to hear on the radio, Andy Reid is fired. No, what's going on? So I think it's time for us to go back in because we've been beating you guys pretty consistently over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think the last 2 times the Giants won at home, but before that it was like a 3-4 year sweep kind of thing,
Yeah.
But the Giants have won the last 2 home games. You guys have won your 2 home games, but before that, before the 2020 season, you guys were on a roll. Swept the Giants home and away for I think something like 4 years straight.
Now let's go with a non-bias, and this has nothing to do with your team, so this is going to be a good question. The national media says that the Cowboys are the team to beat and have the higher rank chance of, making it to the Super Bowl. Who do you think is a better team out of us and the Cowboys?
Let me think about that for a second. I think right now, the Eagles right now are a better team.
Okay.
I think that the only thing that I think maybe the difference between them is their pass rush is insane. They are not. Don't get me wrong. I really like the Eagles' defensive line, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from an end perspective, those cats get after it. But I think pound for pound, I think the Eagles are still. Who knows if Dak shows up? He gets all weird and wonky, and I don't know if Dak shows up. We don't know if I said Emmett. We don't know if Woody Call's going to show up. We don't know if he's going to show up. Sometimes he shows up. Sometimes he doesn't. Pollard's a better back, doesn't get enough carries. So, I think the Eagles know who they are, and I don't think the Dallas quite knows who they are. I still think, it doesn't have nothing to do with me. I got no skin in the game. Yeah. I think the Eagles are an overall better team.
Nice. I like it. I agree. I fully agree. What about overall, where do you rank the Eagles? Do you think that we're the best team in the NFL? Because everybody want to give us, we might be the best team in the NFC, but with the 11-1 record, you are who you play. I'm tired of that being an excuse, and you can't say that the Cowboys and Minnesota and San Francisco, all these teams are better than you when you beat these guys already. Except for San Francisco, we already beat these guys. We blew out the Cowboys first time. We blew out Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that we're head and shoulders the best team in the NFC. But I really think that we're the best team in the league, period. I don't think there's another complete team. I like the Chiefs. I love Big Red when he's not playing us, but I still feel like they have a lot more holes. They still haven't really recovered from the whole, Tyreek Hill departure. They got some good players playing some good ball. They still got Travis Kelce, who's the best, tight end in the game right now. And then they keep losing. They just lost another game, and the Bills lose. Josh Allen, if he's not having a good game, they're done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like we're just the most complete team. We have the least amount of pressure, and we played a game. We played a game like on a different level than everybody this year because we have the talent roster to play it that way. Like I said, we say pick your poison. You want to stop our run, we'll pass. We want to stop our pass, we'll run. You want us to blitz. If we have to, we will blitz. We got the players to get to the quarterback. We got this secondary also. We're number one in secondary in the league right now. We got one of the best defensive line. We got some of the best linebackers out there playing football right now. So overall, the team itself, I do think that it's weird. Like I feel like if we were the same team was the Chiefs, the same team was Buffalo, the same team was one of these other team, Dallas. You change our colors to Dallas colors, everybody be crowning them already. Best team in the league. But I think it's because the Eagles, we kind of get a bad rap, and we're not getting our due justice.
So if your question is, do I think you're the best team in the league? The only reason I say no is because I think Pat Mahomes is just a special cat, and like that dude he's a magician, and I never put it past him. I mean, that guy can win some games. Like I struggle with saying that if I had to put Jalen Hurts up against Mahomes to win you a Super Bowl, I'm picking back Mahomes 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, he's a beast. Patty's a beast.
Hey, by the way, that says hot girls for you. All right.
We need the spammers to go ahead and get that out of there, out of the chat. But hey, thanks again, man. Thanks for coming. It's always fun when we get up here and talk up football. We got another one in 2 weeks. Let's do it again. Maybe get some more people. We can get some more people involved in it too. Have more of a round table next time.
If you hit me back up, like I say, I got like 6 people on the rush team, on the Giants rush team. I can grab 1 or 2 of my.
We do like BGM versus rush. 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, something like that.
Yeah. Just hit me up. Listen, I'm always good for at least once or twice a year. Let me know what I could do. And
no problem,
I'd like to say good luck to Devontae Adams, since I feel bad that I said that. Now I feel
if he goes out with an ACL this week, we gonna be mad. We gonna be mad. He jinxed us. He said it on live. I'm gonna have to clip it. I'm gonna say, Eagle fans, attack him now.
No, it's all. Listen,
he's out.
I feel bad I said it, though. I feel bad that I said it because I'm sure he's a good dude. I feel bad I said it. I took it back. I retracted it. I wasn't wishing it. I wasn't wishing it on him. You just said, give me some.
You were just so confident with it. Like it wasn't a pause. It was a hesitation. What you're saying. You said, ACL. Oh, no.
You said give you a headline. I gave you a headline.
That was a headline. That was good. That was too hot of a take. I was like, no.
Yeah, and then I had to do this. I had to erase it off the board.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you at one more time before we get out of here. You guys make sure you go subscribe to my guy. Giants Rush, they're great. Giants content creators over there doing some good work over there. Make sure you show support because, we support everybody over here. We got Eagle fans. We got Giant fans. We got Niner fans. We got Cowboy fans. We got fans from everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate all you guys. So make sure you guys show some support and go hit that subscribe button for these guys.
Love it, man. YouTube channel is the Giants Guys. Hit me up on Twitter, which is, of course, you can see there in the tag NY Giants Rush. Instagram NY Giants _Rush. We would love if you jumped on our YouTube channel and subscribe. We're on a mission to get to 1,000 subs this year. We're real close. We're in that 800 range. So if you don't hate the Giant contents, just hit a subscribe button on our YouTube channel, the Giants Guys. That would go a long way for us. And Bird Gang, anytime you need something, I see you pop into my shows on Tuesday nights. I always give you a shout out, man. So
you too. I try.
And your wife too. I love Mrs. Bird Gang too. She
everywhere. If I'm not there, she's there. Like we really like I said, like when I turned into a content creator, like I said, it was years of just watching content from all you guys, like for years. And then when I decided to do it, it was just like I didn't want to stop that ever. I love watching everybody. I love still keeping up with everybody, making sure, that I support just like you guys support me. It's like, it comes full circle. You guys are still I still am a fan of, the content creators. I don't think that we're like rivals or we're like, in the same profession or whatever. I just think that we love our teams and we're going to support them the best way we can. And, it doesn't matter what team you are. I just love good content in general. Like, doesn't matter what colors you wear. Obviously I prefer the green, but, it doesn't matter what colors you wear. I'm still going to support you and and hope that you do a great job out there.
Just so you know, so my daughter got a full ride this past year to play field hockey at Michigan State in the Big Ten. So my second colors, Bird Gang, is green. Okay, I just want to let you know I'm all Spartaned up right now. So
Nice.
we're wearing a lot of green. Okay, because my daughter's playing.
Just go ahead and get your Hurts jersey.
No, don't get crazy.
Don't get crazy. Get it. At least you say you had the MVP jersey the year he won it.
I can't. Even if he wins the MVP, I can't do it. I can't. Right. Listen, my wife's a teacher, and when Sheldon Brown knocked out Reggie Bush, and then he had that pick in the Atlanta game. If you remember, he had that. Thank you. He had that big pick against the Falcons in the NFC Championship game. I gave my wife this huge poster, Sheldon picking the ball off, and it says, to Denise, love Sheldon Brown, and her kids, because she's a teacher, they're always like, I'm confused. It's all Giants over here. What's up with this Sheldon Brown thing over here? So, I always say, look, I've had some special and pretty cool relationships with Eagles players over the years. Quentin Michael was a cool cat. Lito was awesome. So
that's the only guy on the show. I would love to get Lito Shepherd on the show. He was one of my favorite cornerbacks for the Eagles. I've had Sheldon Brown, not Sheldon Brown. I had Bobby Taylor.
Okay.
So I had Leonard Weaver on the show. I had Corey Simon on the show. And then I had Tony Richardson, who's never played with the Eagles, but he's just a good back that I had on the show. But I would love to get Lito, on the show.
Man, if I could track those guys down for you, I'd be glad to help you out. I don't know where any of them went now. I know, they all, it happens. Some of them stay in the some stay in the market. Like I saw Mike Quick literally yesterday. He stayed after he played. But then some guys just disappear and I don't know where they go.
Yeah,
they go home.
I be in all their inboxes like, hey guys, come on, let's do it. Let's bring that Eagle live. Old school vibe. Some great ones. Like a Trent Cole or a Hugh Douglas, or I see some of these guys around on their local podcasts and some other people podcasting. I'm like, come on guys, let's just come over for a show. Let's hang out and talk some Eagles football. So
yeah,
we're gonna get it done in the future. You gotta get a little bit.
We're known for that, Bird Gang. Like when you look into the Giants guys, YouTube channel, we've interviewed Kurt Warner and Carl Banks and Pepper Johnson, Leonard Marshall, Kevin Booth, Kavika Mitchell, Kevin.
Who'll be your go? If you can interview one person right now, and you have access to any Giants player of all time.
Well, Eli
Manning, Strahan, LT.
It's gotta be LT. The kind of stories he would tell you would be just. I mean, they'd be priceless. There'd be nothing that can compare to the stories he would tell.
Who'll be the second then?
Look.
Got the book.
I'm telling you, man, like the stuff that you want to interview. Long as LT was willing to talk, the things he would say would blow your mind. Don't get me wrong. Strahan is probably a lot of fun to be with. Eli is like, everybody loves Eli now because everyone realizes he has a sense of humor. So everyone's like, Eli's funny, So, but man, LT would tell some stuff that would blow your mind. The stuff that I mean, dude just literally lived on the edge for 13 years.
Yeah. If I could right now, I would definitely be Dawkins, McNabb, and Hurts, man. I want to talk to Hurts ASAP.
Yo, I spent a whole day with McNabb.
You did?
I did a vitamin water shoot with McNabb. And I'll tell you, I know a lot of people gave him crap because he wasn't like gritty like Brett Favre, but
he sold his soul for chunky soup.
Yeah, he did. But you know why? He's funny. That's the thing. McNabb's got you don't have to like him, but he's got a good sense of humor. He was funny as hell.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chop it up with him. Like I would say it live too. I'd be like, hey man, my theory. You
sold your soul for chunky soup.
Yeah, you sold yourself for chunky soup, man. You can say it loud. We lied, but you can be honest right now. You've been retired for a while. Just go and let everybody know. And then I'll be at peace with it. If you say, yeah, I did. And
like I said, I thought he was funny. I spent a whole afternoon with him doing a vitamin water thing. He was cool. He was telling us funny stories about his kids. When he takes them to Disney on Ice. Those guys with the glow in the dark things come down and they're always camping out next to him. He's like, it cost me more at the intermission at Disney on Ice than it did for the tickets because they kept his twin girls kept going, Daddy, I want that. Daddy, I want that. He's like, I needed a loan just to get out of the arena because I kept buying stuff. He was funny, man. Like I know
do that to you, man. They definitely do that. And Randall Cunningham too. I'm named after him. I love him. He's got me. He's the reason why I wear these colors right here now. Randall Cunningham. That'd be a goat to talk to too. So
yeah,
hey, it's been awesome. Let's get out of here. And you guys hit that like on the way out. They say go subscribe to my guy and fly, Eagles fly. Like I always say, we out. Peace.